Now, what's this here? Oh, this is another variation on the common theme. This is actually instant healthy grain cream of wheat. And this here has 30 grams of sugar per serving. This is before the milk is added. And 6 grams of dietary fiber. So this is 24 grams of sugar per serving, similar to the cream of wheat. Similar to the cream of wheat. Moving right along. I had to jump at this because, let me just move these things out of the way here so I don't knock them over. I had to grab these because a lot of viewers, a lot of my patients, think that the yogurts are actually pretty good, and indeed they're not. So I picked up some yogurt here, and I'm looking at a French vanilla here. Serving size. This is one serving size. This is 33 grams of sugar. That's one serving size. This is 25 grams of sugar. This is 20 grams of sugar. This is 31 grams of sugar. And again, for anyone who has, any problems with type 2 diabetes, heart disease, obesity, on any other medications for heart disease, they need generally about 30 grams per day. So even one serving size will put them way over the edge, way over the edge. All right, let me move along here. Okay, this is, let's see, I pulled half and half and fat-free half and half. From the, I was getting a little message from my producer here, and it was a very good point. The message was that nobody eats just one serving, and he is absolutely 100% correct. Thank you. Nobody eats just one serving. I mean, please. Okay. People come to me. They're like, I'm backing off on my carbs, doc. I'm a carbohydrate addict. And I tell them, I say, look, so was I. I was a carbohydrate addict just like you were, okay? You all know the Entenmann's crumb cake, the big one, the Entenmann's crumb cake. Back in the day, I was surprised to learn that it was just one serving because, by golly, I'd eat the whole thing, all right? I'd eat the whole thing. This little thing here, are you kidding me? I can probably eat like 10 of these, and that's easy math. Because now I have 250 grams of carbohydrate, oops, all right, and I think I'm being healthy. Remember, sugar is sugar is sugar, sugar is sugar is sugar. Now, I make the joke because I just find it funny. Well, of course, you find a joke funny. That's why you say it. But anyway, fat-free half and half versus half and half. Is fat-free half and half, isn't it just half? Well, it is. And I was just saying that kidding around, but when you look at the side package and label, you have, in regular half and half, 3 grams of total fat, and 1 gram of sugar. And when you look at fat-free half and half, well, of course the fat's gone, right? So total fat is none. But, there's 3 grams of carbs. So, I kind of a little bit stand corrected, but not really. Indeed, the fat is gone, so it is indeed half. But the you know what? As I'm sitting here, I wanted to do this. I never really looked at the ingredients. Skim milk, corn syrup. Oh, that's good. That's good. Skim milk and corn syrup. Second ingredient in fat-free half and half is corn syrup. That's pleasant. All right. Adds a trivial amount of fat. And we already learned that we want the fat. We want the saturated fat. Congratulations, fat-free half and half. You're about to make us even sicker as adults or kids for that matter. I got to do this. Okay. We know a lot of kids out there, they eat or drink, chocolate milk. And this is here, we got the chocolate milk, we got reduced fat milk, and we got fat-free. I couldn't find regular. And remember, as you take the fat out of a product, the carbohydrates or sugars increase. Sugar is sugar is sugar. Carbohydrates are broken down into sugar. Sugar is converted into plaque-forming deadly cholesterol, makes us fatter, increases the risk for type 2 diabetes, increases the risk for cancer. So let's see. This chocolate milk, this is how many servings per bottle. Remember, you always got to check. Now, this here, unlike the other product here, the V8 that I mentioned, this was 1 serving. This is actually 2 servings, okay? I can almost guarantee you that most people out there think this is 1 serving. So 1 serving from here gives you 30 grams of carbs with a negligible amount of dietary fiber. It says less than 1. So 30 grams of carbs per serving. This is 2 servings. This is 60 grams of sugar right here. Okay, that was reduced fat. This is no fat. So this was 30 grams. Reduced fat was 30 grams. This is now fat free. All right. And this is interesting because this has about the same amount, 29 grams. So now they're really confusing me. All right. And this is, again, 2 servings. So both fat-free and reduced fat have about the same amount of carbohydrates. Now, an interesting biochemical fact of nutrition is that the more fat that is present, the slower the carbohydrates will be absorbed into the bloodstream. Going to the Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center, this is data that I used to review a radio show a couple of weeks ago. It says here, fats are extremely important in slowing the absorption of other foods with glucose. What that generally means is that the more fat in a product, the slower the absorption of glucose into the bloodstream will occur. So when you're eating a low-fat product or a no-fat product, the sugar will generally be dumped into the bloodstream. I'm going to reach over, see what else I have. Okay, here we go. Apple. Okay. Now look at the size of this apple. Look at it. Look at this. It's like it's about the size of a softball. I mean, this is incredible. Now, a regular size apple, all right, is about 20 grams of carbs. Okay. I'm going to guess this is probably about 40 because this is huge, okay? And I don't know what kind of hormones or genetic manipulation occurred, with this apple. I mean, it looks like it could talk to me. I mean, this is so gargantuan, so I'll put that aside. And by the way, an apple a day and the doctor you will pay. That's what I say, okay? Let me reach over here. What do we got here? Oh, this is good. This is good, especially if you're hiking. This is Chewy Trail Mix, 100% natural. Fruits and nuts. Almond, raisin, peanut, and cranberry. Okay, here we go. Where are we? This has 25 grams of sugar per serving. All right. Now, these are bars. Okay, I failed to see that when I was looking at it. This is one bar. 25 grams of carbohydrate, 1 gram of fiber, bring you down to 24 grams per bar. As was correctly suggested, who eats one serving? I guarantee the vast majority of people out there would have like 2 bars, bringing you up to like 48 grams of sugar. Remember, again, I'm going to say it again. Sugar is sugar is sugar. The more sugar you eat, the more plaque-forming deadly cholesterol you make, the fatter we become, and the more you'll see diabetes and a whole host of other medical problems. I'm staring at the grapes. I'm going to grab them. All right, so here's the grapes. Okay, this is 1 cup of grapes. And by the way, these grapes are huge. These grapes are huge, okay? This is 1 cup of grapes, about 23 grams of carbohydrate per cup. 23 grams of carbohydrate per cup. But this is where it gets a little interesting, I said that this apple was probably about 40 grams. For people who don't suffer from a medical disease, who aren't on a medication, who may be a good weight, you could probably get about 60 grams of carbs a day. So half of this at a meal would be appropriate. Okay, you could do that. A cup of these at a meal would be appropriate. But who sits down and measures a cup? Nobody. You keep eating the grapes until they're all gone. And let me just show you how big this package was. All right, this would be about 3 cups. Okay, I can guarantee I can get maybe another cup and a half. So we're looking at about 50 grams of sugar right there. Let me just say, and I can't reiterate this enough, the very foods that do not contain, cholesterol or fat, because grapes, apples, and we'll get to bananas in a second, some of these foods here that are zero fat, raisins, the very foods that do not contain cholesterol or fat are the very foods our body uses to make plaque-forming deadly cholesterol and fat. The fat stores on our body, also known as adipose tissue, come from they're stored molecules of sugar, glucose. That's what they are. And if you think fructose is any safer, think again. Because fructose is stored in the fat cell quicker than glucose. And what that means, if you have an apple or a Snickers bar, an apple and a Snickers bar, the sugar from the Snickers bar will wind up, I got to correct myself. I almost spoke wrong. If you eat an apple and a Snickers bar, the sugar from the apple will wind up in the fat stores quicker than the sugar from the Snickers bar. That people find that absolutely amazing. Okay, that fructose is more fattening, quicker fattening than glucose, because glucose is fattening as well.